Welcome back, everybody. It's your time to EdUp on the EdUp Experience podcast, where we make education your business. Dr. Joe Saluccio back with you again. I am on my third venti soy latte from Starbucks with the triple shot. Triple shot. That's right. We're here at Jenzabar
Jam
2023 Orlando, Florida, Gaylord Palms Resort. I believe this is the last podcast of the 3-day stint. Right? Is it, Elvin?
I think so. Yeah. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, my co-host, Elvin Freitas.
Yes! There it is!
He specifically requests that intro. That's not me. That's not the sound effect I would play. I would say, ladies and gentlemen, co-founder of the EdUp Experience podcast, Elvin Freitas.
No. Much rather take it.
We're going to get to our guest and our guest co-host. He's now a two-time guest co-host. He's got the coolest title in the entirety of higher education. Here he is, Chris Morgan, intrapreneur.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me again.
Welcome back, Chris. Tell us what the intrapreneur is again.
Yeah, so it's my job is to kind of find new business models that and build them within Jenzabar. The only constraints really are that they need to work with the mission, vision, values, and goals of Jenzabar.
You know what I like about you, Chris? That work sounds very complex, but you say it so like I just build companies within a company. It's like not a big deal. It's just what I do.
It's Tuesday.
I love that. Well, we're going to talk to our guest today. Here he is. He's Mike Steele. He's VP of Administrative Services at Mid-Plains Community College. Mike, what is up?
I'm just glad to be here. This is my first podcast ever. So
Bullseye.
Can't get better than this. Talk about Mid-Plains Community College, where you guys are located. What do you do and how do you do it?
Mid-Plains Community College is located in central Nebraska. We cover 20,000 square miles, which is a third of the state of Nebraska, and we have all kinds of services. We're a two-year college. We cover basic college stuff, tech enrollment. We've got a lot of business and community ed stuff. We've got some athletics. We got a rodeo team.
Amazing.
That's what I'm about. Yes. Talk about your role as VP of Administrative Services. What do you oversee?
So VP of Administrative Services, like a lot of positions at the college, covers a great number of things. I've got the business office. I've got IT, facilities, capital construction, business and community ed, outreach, our 4 smaller campuses, and I think that about covers it.
I'm going to re-ask that question. Mike, what is it that you don't do at Mid-Plains Community College? Run the institution. I think that's the only answer. No, I mean, that's a lot. How do you balance all that?
You hire good people and you work with them to find a direction.
Nailed it.
And then get the heck out of the way and let them do what they do.
Yep. Speaking of getting out of the way, I'm going to get out of Chris Morgan's way. Chris, I want you to tell us about the campus movement again at Jenzabar.
Sure. So the campus movement is about, making sure that everybody wants an education, that wants a better job, has a way to get it. And so we do everything from enable students to find careers, find the right college, find the right certificate if that's their path. And then we help our partners in colleges work with those students to get them into the college in whatever way works for them, whether that's non-credit or dual credit or any non-traditional path.
Epic.
Mike, why would MPCC become a learning partner, design partner? The words lost me for a moment.
So we've got a lot of motivated people that want to be on the cutting edge. And as we've worked through our Jenzabar software, they've been a great partner for us. And we've been able to be a beta on a lot of things, and that allows us to get in contact with a lot of the staff at Jenzabar, make some inroads, and when an opportunity comes up and we have a need, so we have a need right now for some additional software to help us better position ourselves and provide better services to our service area. And we were intrigued by the campus movement and had the opportunity to have some meetings, and we started with 3 of us that were looking at it. And now we've got, I think, 9 or 10 people that are on the monthly meetings to make sure that we can encompass all of the services that we're trying to grab and put into place for our workforce in the area.
All right. Well, that was impressive.
Chris, is there a benefit to being a design partner? Is everybody, let me rephrase, when you go out and you're looking for design partners, is everybody raising their hand going us, or does it take a specific institution, a specific mindset, right? Because I think, do you want to use a design when it's done and perfected and I'll just wait for it? Or do you want to be one of the ones that mucks through it and helps it refine itself? I can't imagine everyone raises their hands.
That's right. Yeah, it needs a special type of school. You need to meet a certain criteria. We want some people that are on the cutting edge, some people that are, on the opposite side, and people in the middle. So we want a good range. And we also want true partners, people that know that it's tough to build software and will give us very candid feedback and be understanding if we can't do magic right away. So
yeah. Mike, you strike me as somebody that would give candid feedback.
Yes, absolutely. Don't ask the question if you don't want the answer.
Yeah, that's right. You're just going to say it like it is. Why is Mid-Plains Community College primed to be a design partner? And same question, why take on that role of helping Jenzabar, helping other schools kind of muck through and iterate? Why not wait until somebody else has designed it right?
I guess we see it as an opportunity to put a little bit of us into the product. We've already, had some conversations, and I think there's been even at least a couple of changes as far as their trajectory based on the little conversations we've had so far. And we've got folks that have a mindset that let's innovate, let's get it out there, let's move forward, rather than just sit on the sidelines and watch it happen.
Yeah, a good example of that is Mike, in one of our early calls, looked at our pricing plans and what we were offering, and in real time looked up some data and said, well, this is why that's crazy. He didn't say those words. He said a lot more nicely, but the next day we changed that.
It's fuzzy math.
I mean, it's got to make sense, doesn't it, Mike?
It's fuzzy math.
The numbers and the initiatives have to line up. What kind of, is it take extra staff, or do you have to pull staff away to be a design partner? Is it part of their daily jobs? Is it a feedback loop, or is it a specific initiative you're setting to the side?
It's a little bit of both. This opportunity, we were in the process of looking for something to enhance and move forward with the changing environment. And it was kind of a timing thing that worked out for us. But we don't hire additional staff for this because at the end of the day, we got to feed it into a project loop. And then it just becomes a piece of what folks are doing. So they may spend a little extra time on the front side. And then at the end of the day, there's generally an efficiency that works for us as well. But we're also providing the best foot forward for the students or the employers or the businesses that are looking to us to provide some of that training.
So you go to Chris and you say,
You can't handle the truth.
Chris, what kind of resources do you put into this, into these schools to be a design partner? You've got a team. Is it just you?
No. So basically anybody that touches the product, we want to have talking to customers. So there's a kind of a funny thing that happens when you see somebody face to face. And you might have been in a room earlier talking about a feature, and somebody might say, well, that's not even important. And then you hear somebody face to face say that that's important, and their whole demeanor changes. And so the more people that are on the team talking to customers, the more customer centric the product.
How many people on your team? Give us a sense of the scope of the investment that Jenzabar makes in these.
Yeah, so we've got a development team of about 9 people. And then we've got myself and a product manager and a development lead as well. And then we've got a lot of support services that work on other products within Jenzabar as well.
So what's next? You come out of this conference, right? You've been here for 3 days. Yep. You've gotten feedback from people who are delivering it exactly the way you need to hear it as an organization that builds technology. Where do you go from here as the entrepreneur? What are your priorities? What are those top 3 things, 2 things, 1 thing you take away from this conference?
Yeah, so we're launching at this conference. So one of the main priorities now is just to get the word out. And we've gotten a really good reception here. But other than that, it's really an iteration. It's talking to customers, listening to the customers, and building what they want into the program, and then making sure we built it right.
Mike, how's this conference been for you? You've been here for 3 days. Is this your 3rd day here, 4th day?
Yeah, started bright and early Wednesday morning, and we'll fly out tomorrow afternoon at 3. I really enjoy this conference. The beauty of the conference is the Jenzabar schools There's a lot of free flow of information. Everybody's looking to help each other out and improve. It's not a competition. There's a lot to be gained, relationships, interpersonal type of things as well.
Now, you're one of how many people that have come from your institution?
This year we brought 6.
All right, so this is pretty atypical. We were talking about this earlier. There was one institution somebody was sitting in that exact same chair you were in, and she says, we brought 20 people from our institution. And I said, institutions don't send 20 people to these conferences, right? Even
Right.
6 is a big load. It's a huge investment for an institution. Why is MPCC putting that investment into your employees coming to this conference? Because what if they quit? What if, or are you so confident in your long-term employees that you just want to grow them?
Exactly. Our job is to educate the public, and you can't guarantee staff are going to stay with you, but you're educating the staff, and that information goes with them if they go. But our process is built around empowering the people to help us identify everything. Everything seems like a big word, but to identify the items that will improve the lives of their staff, that will ultimately improve the lives of the students or the experience of the students when they come to campus.
Well, you're over administrative services, so you understand costs, and you understand when you're coming from Nebraska, what airport do you fly out of to come here to Orlando?
Well, we can fly out of Denver. We can fly out of Omaha. This time we flew out of Denver.
So you drove to Denver?
Yes.
Okay, how many hours?
Let's say 4.
Okay, so you and your team drove 4 hours to Denver, Colorado, then flew to Orlando, 6 of you, to be here at this conference. That's not a small expense for a community college. It's got state funding and all of that. So, I mean, I think I'm reiterating this to show the investment that you and the team are making into yourselves, into your staff, to come here to this Jenzabar conference and be confident that you're investing in Jenzabar, investing in the information, that you're going to get the ROI in the back end, because everybody's going to come in refreshed, look for innovations, right? You always make the money back on these types of things, don't you think?
Oh yeah, we do. If I were to sit here and recount over the 7-year journey we've been on, which we don't have that kind of time, the investment has been huge in the changes and improvements and everything that goes with that as we move our institution forward.
Chris, what do you think that says about Jenzabar? 6 people from here, 20 people from there, 10 people from this school. Might be typical for you working for Jenzabar, and you go, oh, this happens all the time for us. We've gone to other conferences and we do not see that.
Yeah, it's great for me to see, having worked for other companies that don't have that kind of following. But it's also great. There's an energy here from all of the customers. You can tell that this is an event that they like to come to every year, that they come here not only for what they learn and they feel listened to, but also it's an energizing event, I think, for everybody once a year.
Absolutely.
Chris, has this met your expectations for the conference, for the launch of the campus movement? Is there anything that you would do over again, or anything that you want to celebrate from your team's perspective? How do you feel about everything in the way it went?
I think it's been great. It's exceeded my expectations. I certainly didn't expect to be part of 2 podcasts as part of the launch. But
glad we could provide some value,
which is the most fun. Yeah, but no, we've gotten great feedback from all the customers that we've talked to, and there's certainly a market need right now. So we're excited to keep it going.
Mike, what are your top few takeaways from the 3 days you've been here?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I only ask softballs, by the way.
Top 3 takeaways. The interaction and the relationships that we're able to build, getting direct access to the product developers, being able to talk to them directly and say, it would help us if you did it this way, or why did you do it this way, or how do we work around that? I think it's just the ability to interact with the people that's the big piece of it.
The relationships are important at these conferences, right? You see it here, and you look behind us, wherever there's a group of people, and you just go, as that group of people is migrating from one session to the next, what problems being solved? In between, when people are standing around, they're checking their email, they sit down to somebody they don't know and they go, oh, you use Jenzabar? I use Jenzabar. You do this? Oh yeah, we use it for that. You do? Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Those are the moments that are just so amazing at these conferences, is that sometimes it's the sessions, yes, but sometimes it's what happens after the session when you sit down and go, okay, what did I take away from that? How can I use it better? Who's using it? Is that important for you and for your team from a networking perspective, Mike?
Oh, absolutely. Because we've got people from 6 different departments that don't interact with each other on a daily basis. And you've got, as you mentioned before, we got a 4-hour car ride to think about what we're going to do on the way here. We've got all the meal periods where we talk about what did you learn in this session? What did you learn in that session? And then we're going to have
debriefing, right?
The plane ride home, the car ride home, and then everybody's going to get to report out back to everybody when we have our meeting next month. So there's a lot of follow-up on it, but it also helps us put together our roadmap for the next 12 months.
What's the growth path look like for MPCC? What are the goals, strategy?
The growth path, traditional enrollment has been pretty flat. We've got a lot of industry and business growth. We've got a packing plant coming to town in North Platte. We've got an inland port authority coming to town. There's a lot of need for some skills-based training, which is kind of why we started going down the path we're headed on these things. I think the outlook is I'm hoping it's exponential with some of the stuff we got going on based on, we got a bunch of retail coming to town too. So we're in an area that hasn't grown population-wise.
Yeah.
For,
You're rural, right? It's a rural community college.
North Platte has been the same size at 25,000 people since prior to 1970. So there's an opportunity to bump that 15-20% here in the next decade.
That's great. Chris, you represent Jenzabar and you represent the Jenzabar employee on the very last podcast here at Jenzabar.
Jam.
Which means your final word will be no pressure. I'm not putting any pressure on you, but whatever you say in infamy now will be the last words anyone hears about Jenzabar for this year, 2023. Seriously, dead serious.
Yeah.
The pressure is on. No. Anything you want to say about campus movement, Jenzabar?
Sure. I mean, what Mike just said was a great plug. I mean, he's not alone, or their school is not alone in that they either have flat or many have dropping enrollments, and the bright light is these non-traditional students that are increasing in size. So we're building a solution just for that, and with Mike and folks like him, with their help, hopefully we'll build it in a way that'll be perfect.
Nailed it.
Final word of the conference here at the EdUp Experience podcast goes to this gentleman right here, Michael Steele. Mike, what do you want to say about MPCC?
MPCC is a gem on the prairie, if you will. We're a great place to come get your education. We've got great activities. We've got great people working for us. And if you work very hard to pay for your education at Mid-Plains, you're working too hard. We've got a lot of opportunities out there. I would encourage people to check it out no matter where in the country you're from.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest co-host. Here he is. He's Chris Morgan, entrepreneur. Jenzabar, entrepreneur, greatest title in the history of higher education. Chris, thanks for coming back.
Thank you.
And of course, my guest, your guest. Here he is. He's Mike Steele, VP of Administrative Services, Mid-Plains Community College. Mike, did you have a good time in the podcast today?
I did.
Well, thank you very much. We enjoyed having you here. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap from Jenzabar
Jam.
2023. You just EdUp'd.